Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Harold, for that great introduction and all of your extraordinary work on behalf of 300,000 members of this union. It is such an honor and such a delight to be with you today. And I want to also salute Andrew Pantelis, our 4th District Vice President, and Michael Runn, the President of the Professional Firefighters of Maryland, for their great work. And I also saw on the way in my friend Jeff Buttle, who is the president of the firefighters in Montgomery County. Harold, you were kind enough to reference my race, which was the most expensive congressional primary in U.S. history, not because of me, mind you, but because of a couple of my opponents. But I had something that they did not have, which is I had the endorsement of the Firefighters Union in my district. And when you've been endorsed by the firefighters, it's like you won the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary, because they were the first union to get behind me. We had just worked on that legislation to make certain that it was a felony criminal offense in the state of Maryland to assault a firefighter in the line of duty. You know, and people were saying stuff, well, if it should be a felony, you know, to assault a firefighter, then it should be a felony to, you know, assault, you know, someone in the Parks and Recreation Department or, you know, a dog catcher or what have you. And I made the very simple argument that the firefighters are engaged in saving people's lives every single day. And to interfere with their work is to interfere with the public safety. And we were able to get that done, and Jeff Buttle's a remarkable legislative strategist and organizer. So it's an honor to be with you today with all of these great firefighters. And I want to say that what we need to be doing in Congress and what we need to be doing in America today is all built right into the first sentence of the Constitution of the United States. I'm a professor of constitutional law, so I'd like to think constitutionally, but the Constitution says that our purpose is to build a more perfect union, not a more perfect bureaucracy, not a more perfect corporation, a more perfect union, and that's what you guys are doing every day, too, and that's what we've got to be doing in America, bringing everybody together. We rely on you, firefighters, to safeguard our families and our communities. We rely on you to protect our military installations, our hospitals, our research facilities. We rely on you to keep us safe. We've had in my community a series of terrible fires recently because of overcrowding residential conditions and because of inadequate regulatory enforcement of the building code. But every time the firefighters have been there quickly on the spot to rescue people and to save lives. We rely on you, and in turn, I believe that you should be able to rely on us in government. And I want to say that I favor reauthorization and increased funding of the SAFER and Fire Grant programs, which are set to expire this year. They were created by Congress to ensure that the fire departments have the personnel and equipment and training they need to keep us safe. When a fire department faces a funding shortfall, that's not some kind of bureaucratic wrinkle or snafu. That's a public safety crisis. And these grants help fire departments purchase essential safety equipment, hire essential personnel, and improve emergency preparedness throughout our communities. And obviously, as frontline responders and public safety providers, your needs and your issues are different somewhat from other public sector workers, but like all federal workers and public sector workers, you have been targeted for baseless political attacks by people who want to advance an opportunistic agenda. And that's not right, and I won't stand for it. The people who work for us in government are the representatives of all the people. And to attack you and the work you do is essentially to attack the government and democracy itself. So I just want to say I oppose efforts to undermine your union rights and civil service protections, including in Congress the Page Act, which would strip federal workers of their rights and render them simply at-will employees. I will oppose any legislation that jeopardizes your pay, your benefits, your pensions, or impede your collective bargaining rights. I know that your members are the largest providers of pre-hospital emergency medical care in the country. You provide outstanding life-saving health care to people every day on the street. And yet, inexplicably, there are politicians who are intent on making it not easier, but more difficult for you to do your jobs and for you to access high-quality, affordable health care when you need it. So let's be clear, proposals to eliminate or cap the tax exclusion for employer-provided health care would be catastrophic for professional firefighters, and I will oppose it every step of the way. Your jobs require you to take enormous risks with your own health and your well-being, and therefore the security of your family every day. Your sacrifice is a public service. You should not have to pay more for your health coverage. Firefighters face an assortment of workplace hazards, including exposure to various toxins and carcinogens. I want to see additional research to help us better understand the relationship between your work and cancer. And I am proud to have signed on as an original co-sponsor of the Firefighter Cancer Registry Act of 2017, which would create a national cancer registry for firefighters to give researchers critical data about the link between cancer and firefighting. As a cancer survivor myself, I take this as a central public policy necessity and imperative. So I look forward to working with all of you on this important agenda and these range of issues in the days ahead. Again, I salute you for your exceptional service to the public, and I thank you for allowing me to address you for a moment today.